All right, we are back. And today on Wellness Decoded, we're going to talk about something that's kind of come up. Everybody knows about GLP-1s and GIPs, injectable weight management services that have been out there. It's like a huge thing going
It's
on, right?
so big right now.
So,
Yeah.
so big. And so now there's a lot going on, and there's some new things that different ways of administering the medication. Microdosing is not a new thing, and a lot of peptides and a lot of other of injectables, they utilize the microdosing technique. And Darlene's going to talk a little bit about what really microdosing is.
Mhm.
But we wanted to talk a little bit about the GLP-1s, the weight management, the GIPs, and how microdosing can help with, some of those patients that are maybe been on it for a long time,
Yeah.
things like that, and maybe have plateaued, and you need to kind of change it up and kind of create that little difference in their body, and kind of go from there. So let's go ahead and talk about that. And let's first start with what is GLP-1 and GIPs.
Yeah. So GLP-1 is a receptor agonist originally developed for type 2 diabetes. What they learned over the 15 years of having being utilized for diabetes is that people were losing weight by accident. So it ended up being such a wonderful weight management tool that people started using it for weight management. It is now widely prescribed, off label. The brand names are like Wegovy and Ozempic.
Mm.
So this is something that you need to be very careful about if you choose to do off label, and you need to make sure that that person knows what they're doing, and wherever you're getting it you make sure. But the mechanism of action is it slows your gastric emptying, so it also suppresses your appetite because of that, because if you're emptying about this fast and you start to emptying, your gastric emptying is about 50% less, you are going to empty your stomach less. So your stomach stays fuller longer. You've only taken about this much out of your stomach by lunchtime instead of the full stomach. By taking this much out instead of this, are basically, using that as your appetite suppressant. Your stomach's always full.
Hmm.
Right. So because the stomach is full, you don't release the hunger hormones. You do notice that you don't feel nearly as hungry, or it takes a while to be hungry. So that's one of the mechanisms of action. The second is just because you don't release those hunger hormones, you suppress your noise, your food noise. So you don't have that food noise yelling at you saying eat, eat, eat. So that is the second mechanism of action. Third is it improves your insulin sensitivity. So you're able to metabolize that sugar more effectively. And this GLP-1 works in that lower intestinal tract. So that's basically where it's working.
Hmm.
Okay. Now, if it was tirzepatide, you'd also have a GIP, so that would work in the upper intestinal tract, but we could talk about that at a later date.
Okay.
Basically, we're talking about GLP-1 right now.
Right. Perfect. Okay. So why would somebody microdose?
Now, this is kind of interesting because a lot of people will microdose in two different ways. The first way is they actually don't need to lose weight. They are utilizing the GLP-1 for depression or for just to make them feel better. There's a lot of people that will do it for wellness, prevention of metabolic disorders, etc.
Hmm.
Okay. So by doing that, you're going to stay under that typical 0.25 milligram starting dose, and you're going to take that and split that up into about 2 to 3 doses weekly. So that is one of the ways that people use it, especially if you've already reached your goal weight and you need to stay on it because you're insulin resistant or something else metabolically is wrong. So that is one of the ways you microdose. Another way to microdose is you still continue to incrementally increase as you lose your weight because you're trying to lose weight, but you take those doses and you split them up. Let's say that you're on the 0.5 milligram dose. You could take that and split that up into 3 doses. And then the next month you increase, but we at our office actually do it differently. We increase incrementally weekly. So you come in on a weekly basis based on how much you've lost. Say 1 pound, you'll go up 4 units. If you lost 2 pounds, you'd go up three. And that's also based on the milligram dosage that you're using, because some are a higher concentration and some are lower. So you need to make sure that you're talking to your provider or us and we will make sure that you're on the right dose. And
Yep.
then that's the other way to be extremely successful in your weight loss is by incrementally increasing.
Right.
Okay. The allowing your, taking in that smaller dose to begin with or splitting that dose to begin with is making sure you don't have nausea.
Mhm.
Because some people who are sensitive to it, the regular 1 time a week dose, they can split that up into 2 to 3 doses. So that's another reason why people do it as well.
Mhm.
So it's cost effective for people who are on just maintenance. And, it just helps with the overall nausea, acid reflux,
Yeah, and allows them
symptoms.
just the body to gradually, acclimate to it.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. Mhm.
Right. Yeah, that's sure. And so it's definitely we're seeing a lot of that with patients, and people are asking questions about that. Sometimes, I'm going to start to do it for myself because I've kind of plateaued for
Mhm.
myself. And
Yep.
so just making that change kind of comes.
Plateauing is one
Yeah.
of the reasons why most people have started microdosing or, changing their dosing or taking a week off, a month off. There are so many different ways to kind of boost yourself and get out of the plateau.
So this next section is a tough one for us because we do have an online presence, but we do it differently.
We do.
We just don't ship it, set it and forget it. We do, and kind of explain, the risk of DYI and an online only prescription, but because we do online as
Yeah.
well.
Yeah.
We do it differently. So
Yeah. Yeah. So for let's talk about the inpatient and in office patients first. When you guys come in, we see you weekly. We get to monitor your vitals. We get to do your weight. We get to throw you on the shape scale in order to see, make sure you're not losing muscle, you're losing fat, and it's appropriately distributed. That is why in person is so important and very, very effective. But our online presence is growing faster and faster. The online presence, they still require to come in on a monthly basis. And when they start, they need to see me weekly for the first month. And the reason why is I want to see how you're doing. I want to make sure you're doing your incremental increase appropriately at home. I want to make sure you don't have questions. I want to make sure you're not having signs or symptoms of distress. So, if we are having any of those signs and symptoms of distress, we have to address them immediately because I don't agree with, just throwing it, giving it to you. You get it from an online presence, you take it home, you do it however you want, you're going to risk getting sick and having issues. So, that unregulated compounding things that you can get in, say, China, that's dangerous. Don't do that. Your baseline screening is extremely important. That baseline screening that we do, doing that mini physical, is one of the things that really helps me to determine whether or not this is something that's going to be good for you. Lab work, if necessary, is extremely important. You don't get that personalized dose titration incremental increase if you are not seeing a provider. Psychological risks, that includes disordered eating, body image issues. I don't want you depriving yourself of anything because that can turn into another issue. And then there's this model that they call the doctor in the box model. And that's where basically that box is your computer. You don't ever see an actual doctor. It's all online or nurse practitioner. All you see is click, click, click. I'm ordering this. I'm okay. I don't have any symptoms. It's sent to your home. You're giving yourself stuff, and then you end up in the ER.
right.
Okay. So please don't do that. Please think about your health. Make sure that you're doing it with a provider appropriately. In my opinion, weekly for the first month, and then you can go to monthly after that
Yeah, even our telehealth patients, she'll see them on a weekly basis
to start.
to start. And so,
Some
we
people refuse, but we still talk to them.
we still, somehow we're communicating, and we have, mechanisms in place that allow that still that personalized experience, that almost that in-office experience online
It's a
uh,
texting open
platform.
forum that
Yeah.
we're able to meet with these patients even at midnight if necessary.
So there's a lot of people that love the the easiness, I guess, the easy button, but just because it's easy to order doesn't mean it's safe. And so it's definitely important that you kind of think about that. And here at Optimum Health of Utah and Integrative Medicine, I think we've kind of taken the best of both worlds
Yeah.
and kind of put them together
Yeah.
because we're very, very conscious of that patient experience and the patient safety. And we know sometimes people can't come into the office. So we've taken it in that online presence to the kind of the next level.
Yeah.
So that's what we pride ourselves in.
And we kind of went already into number 5 here by working with a provider. But one of the things that we didn't cover is that coaching and lifestyle support that you will get. It definitely better than not having that available. And then when we meet a goal, when our patients meet their goal and they're ready to wean or taper off, we give them a plan. We give them another post protocol, is what we call it,
Hmm.
where you get your actual post protocol diet. And you need to follow that in order to not empty that stomach too quickly by getting off of it. You do that and you become ravenously hungry. So, we have found a really neat way to get you off of it without causing any issues.
Hmm.
Um, yeah.
Yeah,
So,
some help with some supplements as well, some natural supplements that help as well. And there's a little phrase that you wrote here: a good provider isn't just handing you a script; they are helping you build a sustainable, healthy future.
mm,
That's so important because we see so many people that come in and they're just, I need to lose weight, I need to lose it fast, but they don't. There's still an effort that they have to put in. They have to put in the work, right?
yeah.
And we've seen the most successful patients put that work in because she'll always constantly, hey, it's not just me, it's not just the medicine, it's you. And if you take it seriously and you put a little bit of that effort in, you can really make this protocol super, super effective and super, helpful for yourself.
And I do feel like sustainability is the number one thing. There are medications out there that I will not prescribe for weight loss because I just don't agree that it's sustainable. And this, in my opinion, is people have a negative opinion of GLP-1s, but it's because of the people that get it offline and are not being monitored. If you do it right and you're monitored, you'll never have an issue. Of course, you might have a little bit of nausea or acid reflux, but my point is if you follow everything that we talk about, you're going to lose your weight efficiently and you're going to keep that weight off efficiently. The people that gain the weight back are the people that kind of forgot about that post protocol and kind of went on to another way of, just living their life. And they do admit it when they come back and they're amazing people and they're like, "Okay, let's get back into this." And
Yeah.
that's okay. Think about it. If you actually have that insulin resistance and you need this GLP-1, you maybe you do need to stay on a maintenance dose of it. It's a miracle medication in my
Yeah.
opinion because there are people that needed this desperately. And instead of walking into your doctor and your doctor saying, just get on a diet. You need to get on a diet. That's how you lose your weight. It's sometimes not true. It's not your fault when it's related to this type of an issue.
Yeah.
So I love that it's out there and I love that it's accessible. I do wish that it was covered by insurance 100%, but one day maybe we'll have that ability
Yeah,
because
possibly.
they'll notice how much it is really helping people.
Right. And
Yeah.
we're going to have an episode. We're going to talk a little bit about how to choose your provider, how to choose, you know, the the pricing model because it's not all the same, and there's a lot of scammers out there, or a lot of clickbait type situations that you have to be very careful of because it's not all about pricing. It's about efficacy and dosage and all those different things. So
Mhm.
we've got an episode coming up that we're going to talk a little bit about that, but it's definitely going to be super important. But the other thing that I was going to mention, we're not going to read any testimonials, but when you are looking at a provider, look at their reviews.
Yeah.
That's so super important.
Yeah.
Please go to ours. If you're contemplating and you're seeing this and hearing about us for the first time, definitely go to our reviews. We've got so many out there that people have literally just spilt their guts out. And I've seen some that are 3 and 4 paragraphs long where somebody just really just said how Darlene helped them, achieve their goals. And it's been years of seeing other providers. So that's another thing that you really need to do is check those reviews and see what real people are saying about that provider and that company. So,
Yeah.
all right. So lastly, our closing thoughts and takeaways. Darlene, why don't you kind of take us home?
The semaglutide microdosing has potential based on you. Okay. It is not a magic bullet. Even though I think it's so amazing and it's a miracle that we actually have it now, it is not a magic bullet. So if your body doesn't tolerate it, that's a completely different story. If you do it in conjunction with diet and exercise, that is the very best way to go. Obviously with a provider too, but the diet and the exercise is extremely important. Work with that licensed provider who understands the full picture.
Right.
Okay. And then ask questions, demand personalized care, and don't trust your health to an Instagram ad. Please don't trust your health to a TikTok influencer who, I mean, maybe they're really, really good and they're taking care of themselves, but really do your research. That's all I'm saying. I love a lot of those TikTok influencers out there because they really do know their stuff when they've done it for a little while, because they can continue to walk you through it. And if we had that much time to be on, we would help you with that. But we want you to know that we are here for you. Okay.
Absolutely. All right. Perfect. Well, yeah, that's episode 13, talking a little bit about GLP-1s and microdosing and how to pick a provider and really kind of go through this. And we've got more on the way, more podcast. You get to see Teddy a little bit, our little mascot. And we really, really absolutely love our patients. And like I said, in previous podcasts, we've got some really new things kind of coming down the pipe with integrative medicine that we really kind of look at the body in a complete 100% way. 360
Yep.
type medicine. So definitely looking forward to the next one. And we will see you on the next one. And also let's make sure that if you have an opportunity to subscribe to our channel, we would love that. Please like and share it with
Yes.
as many people, because the more you do that and the more we kind of get into with other folks, the more that we can provide you this great information. Absolutely. We'll definitely see you on the next one. Love
Love
you.
you. Bye.